Hey, welcome everyone. This is Ursula from the Ascension Playground. I just want to say hello and thank you for hearing the calling when Julia Balaz and her Quantum Soul Guidance first ever global summit came out earlier this month. It's remarkable. There really was almost like, if you understand that word of the call, this idea of the call going out. And for those hearts who could hear it, were guided through many doors, many windows to come and meet together. So some of us have met Julia Balaz. Here, I'll help mute everyone just for a second. Okay, there we go. Thank you. And Laura's coming. So this idea that if you heard the call and you're here, grace, because it's perfect timing. So many of us, since the big shift of 2012, what Cryon calls the beginning of the age of light, coming out of the darkness. And if you don't know Cryon, Kryon, it's a collective group of energy that comes and talks through Lee Carroll. He wrote many books, including the Indigo Children book. So this idea that we're here, appointed timing, and when you look at the faces that are available and you read in the chat room where you're from and where others are from, we've created this kind of an etheric grid to support one another. And I'm getting goosebumps because, yes, this Aquarian new moon on today, the celebration of the new lunar year, this past full moon, that wolf moon, the wolf howling into the wind, into the night. Why? So it could meet its tribe, its pack. And in some multidimensional way, the faces we see in this call today, this is your tribe, this is your pack. This is where you can claim to be who you are. We all know that you are not of the norm, that you were probably born and felt a little different or strange or odd, or you could mask it well and be in the norm, but and behind the closed doors, there's something else that's activated. And the galactic consciousness is really coming online in a big way. So the doors that opened with Julia Balaz, some people came in through astrologer Pam Gregory. Some people came in through Elena Danan. Some people came in through portals of Ascension or Astrology Hub. So it's kind of fun, if you don't mind, in the chat, if you want to say what doorway or window, how did you meet the quantum soul guidance? This whole idea that we could gather together and to meet Julia. So I met her 3 years ago, and she's based in Ireland, and I'm here in California. And what was fascinating is something within me turned on, just activated. And so I honored this energetic because, as many of you may know, I am a painter. I'm a mother, and I've worked in corporate. I've worked in art museums and galleries. But this idea of, I know that things are being channeled through me, and wanting to study all things metaphysical, it pulled me out of the norm of which I was raised: Catholic, American. My father's military. My mom is Chinese and an immigrant. So, and they had lots of kids. So it's almost like I was the strange one, always looking at the stars or the wind or the trees. And so when you think of yourself as a child, a 7-year-old child, let's just put 7. Tune into her right now. And if you feel comfortable, invite your own inner child to come sit on your heart chakra and join in this collective gathering, because it's through the heart of your inner child that we truly go galactic. And so that's why my invitation to you today was to meet 12 of your star family members, because the child will say, great, who are you? and let's play. The adult you may say, I don't know, are you reptilian? I don't know, are you the conspiracy theory? Or I don't know, it's just too much. It's outside of my religion or my faith. The galactic consciousness is actually neutral. Um, when you look through the lens of James Webb, the new telescope that's only been out for the last couple years, we're starting to see images of the heavens that has always been there, but it's new to our awareness. You know, we're discovering new stars, new asteroids, new moons, but they're not new, right? They've been there. It's just our technology is informing our consciousness. So as we're expanding into more of a galactic awareness, we're being asked to drop out of the polarity of 3D. Okay. And I know it's so hard to do because we learned, you know, good, bad, light, dark. We've got the yin and yang, but the yin yang is actually asking us to come into balance and hold it, you know, with you at the center point. So I'm just giving you a broad overview of why it's so important for 2025. Okay, so Laura's coming in. For 2025, if you do the numerology, the 2 plus the 2 plus the 5, it is a 9. As a 9-year to help us complete something. And maybe it's just this, all right, polarity and duality. And this new moon of the green wood snake, what are we shedding today? I woke up like at 3 a.m. going, oh my gosh, why can't I go back to sleep? But it's okay. I don't need that much sleep anymore. The energy is waking me up to hold space for what wants to come through. And for me to get out of the way, my fear of, oh, I've never done this before. Oh, you know, all the little funny thoughts that come through. But my inner child is saying, let's play. Let's go galactic. And if you don't want to jump in the deep end, you don't have to. It's one little toe. But for some of you who might have seen the PDF that I sent, I know it's hard to see, if you want to go ahead and get out your little 12-point Merkaba star a la Archangel Metatron, we're going to get there. What I'd like to do is show you a little slideshow, show you a little bit of the calculator, and then I'd like to open it up, okay? And for those of you who came a little bit later, I have never done a 33 chart reading before, but I allowed Spirit to talk through me. I made some oopses, but boy, your star families were really coming in. And when you look at other people, oh, thank you, Sunny. When you look at other people's charts, you go, oh my gosh, that's almost like mine. Oh, look, they have the great attractor at the ascendant. And if you're brand new to astrology and don't know the ascendant, it's that rising sign of the horizon. So let me see if I can do this. I'm going to share my screen. It's about 10:15-ish. So if you don't mind bearing with me, this is about, I don't know, we'll see how long, but I'll be guided. I'm just trusting. So here we have my first slide. Yeah, so when I was invited to come and speak, I've studied with Julia for about 2.5, 3 years. I was one of the early OG people to come in. I encouraged her to get onto Facebook at that time because it was a great way for us to teach and share and meet one another at that time in a little bit of a safer space. And now she's moved her whole platform now recently to Kajabi. And so it's a lot more private, and she'll be changing her Facebook page a bit too. Anyway, here I am, my inner child, finding a picture of your younger self, age 5 or 7, around there. And then for the class, there's about 500 of us. I invited them in last year to just create the same Merkaba to support themselves and our quantum soul guidance family. So for this year, I thought I first wanted to talk about how human design and galactic astrology have a wonderful hybrid. And look, can't you see? But that was such an advanced level. I thought I'm going to lose people. Let me bring it down. My mom was a school teacher, and just bring an entry level of finding 12 star families and creating this beautiful sacred geometry. This is a solar light ship. It's how we navigate in quantum. One of the ways, Merkaba. Some of you know Drunvalo Melchizedek's work with the flower of life. So it's pulling all of this metaphysical together in a very specific shape. But at the center is you, and you connect to every single one of the 12. So the 12 around the one, it's a 13 vibration of the divine feminine. And so we hold that in a beautiful balancing of the divine masculine. So today, yes, snake energy coming in to show us and remind us what needs to be let go, what energetics, what stinking thinking, what reactions, what worries and concerns. Working with star families, when we invite them in, they're waiting, but without the invitation and without the focus and knowing whom to call, they won't interfere unless you invite. So, how to ignite this idea of co-creation? When Pam Gregory mentioned this auspicious new moon, there is a specific alignment to Jupiter that's going to expand your creativity, that's really going to expand your awareness. But that expansion needs you to let some of the heavy weight go. In working with the Stargate in Mount Shasta, studying to be a facilitator, the message from Alcazar repeatedly was, raise your vibration, raise your vibration. And to do that, you can't stay in the same thinking. You have to really shift into this idea of an uber awareness of its story. I'm working with stories. Which ones serve me and which ones don't? And is that really true for me or not? So when we get to the end of our lives, we're going to find out how many stories really served us well. And perhaps this edition of the Galactic might support you. So, yeah, I know some of these do look a little alien. And there's a wonderful artist named Vashta, VASHTA.com. And there's many more on Google. All right. This image really wanted to be shared because if you can imagine working with your inner child, this is you at a soul level, your higher self. So the invitation is the merging of your higher self with your third dimensional self. So if it's just you embracing you at a cosmic, bigger level, and it's through the heart, fear has no room when it is love. So when there is love, there is no fear. I learned that with some Kundalini yoga teaching with Snatam Kaur. All right, so I wanted to share that and add that. Here we go. This is today's astrology chart working with the Galactic calculator. So in so many of my YouTube videos on the Ascension Playground, I will reference Julia Balaz's calculator. And there's a recent video on how to find the calculator and how to use it. So, and then there's an advanced level. So this is today. And if you're tracking Pam Gregory, she will say and remind us, we don't so much focus on the houses when we're looking at an event and casting a chart for the day. What we're looking at is more of a, where's the energetic of the sign? And I'm looking at what other star is helping us. So if you can see my little arrow here, right away, we look for the new moon. This is where the sun and the moon are coming together in Aquarius, right? So Pam Gregory says, yes, there's a wide conjunction with Mercury and Pluto. So Pluto, and I'm just still in our solar system, Pluto, death, rebirth, sexuality, transformation, deep, dark, like the depths, is working with communication, Mercury. So, what wants to be let go of from the depths, working with this new moon energy? And I put a little highlight because there is a star named Altair. This is the eagle star. This is Alpha Aquila. And so Altair is basically the story of that star is there's leadership potential, there's flight. This is Jupiter's eagle. Are you ready to take flight with this Aquarian energy? Whether we're in the age of Aquarius fully or not, we kind of want to know what's the label. I think we're in the age of Pegasus. Between Pisces and Aquarius is a star in Pegasus that's holding that 0 degrees Aries point. So we're just in a little still of the birth canal transitioning. But when we call in the star Altair, or if it's in your chart and it's one of those you've chosen as one of your 12, if you want to soar and see the expansion, if you want to step into the full leadership capabilities, this is the moment of today, right now. I'm going to scoot over here. I mentioned Jupiter. Jupiter is currently showing up at 11 degrees of Gemini, 20 minutes. So that number 11, that master number, working with Jupiter in Gemini with the royal star Aldebaran. Aldebaran is in the Taurus constellation, right? It's the bull, and it's a royal star. It's one of the four, according to the ancients, the Persian belief that there's 4 stars and watchers of the north, south, east, and west. Aldebaran is one of the royal stars, and it carries the Archangel Michael energy. So we invite Archangel Michael into today, the protector, the one that stands in integrity. This is the eye of the bull. We see clearly. So we've got an eagle, we have a bull, and I'm going to go back to the ascendant. Well, I can't, excuse me, I'm going to pause there. Can't see ascendant because it's not in the house. So what do we have for conjunctions? We have the super galactic, we have Acrux, Vega, Sheliak, the ring nebula from Lyra. So this grouping of 3, I'm going to call out the Lyra constellation. This is that beautiful book by Lisa Royal Holt, The Prism of Lyra, and her many other books. But it's basically saying in this part of the universe, life began as we know it in Lyra on a galactic level. May not have been humanoid, this is Earth, but many of us have had a Lyra lifetime. So these stars are conjoining this beautiful part of fortune in Capricorn, right? So it's an Arabic part. Our blessings are coming from Lyra, is what it's saying to me today. And Vega is the star that says, go inward, go in for meditation. We will speak to you. You will know things. You will feel things. But you need to be still and go within, right? So hard in this day of distraction that our attention span is down now to 3 or 4 seconds. This is scrolling. This is looking at art in museums. It's 3 or 4 seconds. So if you're able to tune the gaze inward with the third eye, work with beautiful star Vega sitting in Lyra. And about half an hour before we came on today, Sheliak is one of the strings of Lyra, which is a harp. And Sheliak is saying, I will help anyone listening, whether it's now or in the future, I will help them with attunement. It's a string of the harp, working with sonic vibrations, with sound. So there's beautiful stories around Lyra, Hermes, Mercury, Apollo, but in essence, everything is energy, everything is vibrational. How do we raise our vibration? We get into attunement. So many in the old paradigm would be, oh, protect yourself. Instead now it's get into alignment. When we're in alignment, we're at a different channel of energy. We're in a different space to then not feel that other things that are happening. We can be of the world or in the world, but not of it. So thank you, Lyra, for showing, what needs to happen now. On that same hand, the last star I want to talk about is Capulus. is showing up today. Now, Capulus is working in a conjunction, a very strong conjunction to Uranus in Taurus. All right. So Uranus, this is the star that is, I'm sorry, Uranus is the planet that is guiding us into the Aquarian age, right? Suddenness, electricity, air, genius, alien. So sometimes people say it's cold as a cucumber because it wants community, but doesn't know how to be part of it. So it's learning how to have grace. But Capulus now is in the constellation of Perseus. And the mythology of Perseus, he's the one who borrowed a sword from Mercury and a shield and a helmet and wings. And this is the sword that cut off the head of Medusa. So I'm just bringing up Capulus. There could be suddenness of losing our heads, losing the stinky thinking, and so we could look at it as, oh no, or we could look at it as, yes, time to shift from my mental thinking and move the 18 inches down into my heart with my inner child. And this is how we rock and navigate in quantum. I know it sounds oversimplified, but the stars kind of reinforce, where's that coming from? Is that energy coming from the heart and love, or is it coming from fear in the mind? And we need our minds, we need our egos, but they can take a back seat when we're talking about quantum and engagement and co-creation with our galactic star families. If you ever decide to join or look more deeply into the Galactic Astrology online courses with Julia, this is part of the calculator that you will find. I think in the free reports, you'll find a portion of this, but not the whole. And what really wanted to be underscored, again, I'm a double Virgo, Pisces moon, so I love analysis. So when I look at this, I look at, wow, look at all these connections. And right away, the sun is working with the Hyades in a trine. Okay, a very close trine. And it's working with the moon, of course, and a trine as well. And so this star named Ain is reminding us, I'm just getting this idea of North American Indians praying for rain. It's the Hyades are the sisters who are crying because their brother has been killed. So it's like from the death comes the rain that nourishes the earth. And boy, don't we really need rain at this moment, especially in some parts of the earth. Yeah. And I wanted to show you, secondly, here's the sun trining and also working with Archangel Michael and the royal star Aldebaran. All right, so if you find these connections in your starseed report, the connections are not in any order of importance other than the word trine means ease and flow. The word sextile will mean a harmonious connection. A conjunction is where you've merged your energy, and it's the strongest when we look at your report or your star soul connections. Conjunctions and oppositions are the two strongest because you've merged your energy or you've had oppositional right across from a particular either a planet or in this case the north node. Here's the north node with that beautiful star Shiat in Pegasus holding the 0 degrees Aries point. Shiat today is at 29 degrees 43 minutes of Pisces. So it's the closest star to what astrologers call the 0 degrees Aries point. Eventually, the Aquarian constellation will come forward, and I believe some will say then we will be in the age of Aquarius. All right. It's a lot. I don't mean to overwhelm you with so much information, but for those of you who already know astrology and are now looking at it through a galactic lens, when you learn the stories of the stars, it brings in that added layer of awareness. So Saturn in Pisces right now is working in strong conjunction with the river constellation called Eridanus, and the end of the river is a beautiful star named Achernar. All right, so Achernar working with Saturn means as things are dissolving, these systems, we've been hearing it for a long time, the structures of our world in 3D will be dissolving. But if we call in Achernar to help in moments of crises, whether it's personal, whether it's family, whether it's your community, your country, or around the world, when you call in Achernar, it's this idea of staying centered in the middle of the storm, like the eye of the hurricane. So this is a powerful star that's showing up today, quite auspicious, quite auspicious. All right, I think that's all I want to say there. I'm going to get a little lighter now. So you heard the beginning, intermediate, and advanced kind of level of how to work with stars. I sent each of you, this is just my little wheel of support. I've already gone ahead and hand drawn these words into a circle. I didn't want you to get confused because there's so many lines, but I'm going to be working. Well, here's Achernar. Yep, I want to be able to hold space. This is through my natal chart. Who was conjunct my energy in the moment of my physical birth? So that moment of physical birth, a snapshot was created. And now this is my cosmic portraiture. And now I know who's there to help me. And I have to tell you, it's a little bit of a cosmic joke because it's not outside of myself, really. It's in me. So I don't want to confuse you, but I'm thinking, Achernar, come sit with me and help me through the flow of the river and all the debris that comes at the end of the river. But there's another part of me in quantum that says, I'm part of Achernar. It's not outside me. So it's just I'm awakening up to this idea that I can hold the center when crises happens. So, and I always say with ease and grace for the greater good of all, with ease and grace. I'm still in that paradigm of it's okay to ask for ease and grace. All right, we're almost there. Let's see, I get to the next slide. Oops. So this is what you should have in front of you. If you're able to print out this page, and we can spend some time if you want talking about if you need help filling in a few of your stars. If you did not get 12, you can add in anyone who was very important to you energetically, whether it's an ascended master, whether it's someone through your faith, like Mother Mary, Jesus, God, whoever you want to add in here. It's all about you and where you want to seek support. So for those of you who know the program Canva, it's how I do some of my little pictures. If after this, if you put in the chat room and you want to ever come back and we'll do a fun little, let's create our own collage. I created most of these using Canva. I pulled in a few images that I knew were Google images, but this is my picture graph of, oh yes, Orion is working with me in a big way. I have like 4 Orions helping me that I called in with conjunctions. I'm still remembering who my strongest star seeds are. I've got the black hole of Shapley Attractor and the super galactic center. So these are 2. Let me see if you can see my little arrows here. I called in the Orion Nebula, the Lyra Nebula. I've got Cygnus. This is Sirius A, the brightest star in the heavens. And I went ahead and added the snake, how to take poison alchemically and turn it into medicine. This is what the green wood snake of 2025, this Lunar New Year, is sharing with me. Then I think I have another little slide. If you do this and you go deeper, I pulled up this picture of Orion because I have a conjunction to Mesa, Bellatrix, Mintaka, and Alnilam. Now, those are all words, but I took Bernadette Brady's Star School and she got even deeper into the stories. So if you have a belt star, one of these 3, Many of us know Orion in the heavens. The three belt stars equals success. These are the diamonds that you put after a victory. So I've got two successful stars sitting in the belt star. I've got Bellatrix sitting on this part of the shoulder, but it's in shadow with the lion that's just recently been killed, the Nemean lion. So I will have success with Bellatrix, but through the shadows, through the shadow work, through the dark night of the soul, sharing my story of how did I make it through? Um, it's that kind of deeper, dark work. If you have Betelgeuse or Betelgeuse, you'll have success in the light. A little bit easier, let's say, but it's a guiding star to support you if you have Betelgeuse or Bellatrix. The one that really wanted my attention this morning was Mesa. It sits on the face of the hunter. You know, this is the great hunter. He doesn't have such a great story when you really start reading about Orion, but this hunter, um, the star Mesa is called the shining one. So that you take the root of the Arabic word, and there's typically a beautiful symbolism. So if you have Mesa working with you in 2025 as one of your 12, it's the shining one. So I thought, okay, it's the face of the hunter, but where is it showing up in my natal chart? Well, I looked and it's showing up in my midheaven, which is the top of the wheel. So when I want to shine, even though I'm a little, let's say, reluctant and would rather stay in the shadows, I invite Mesa to come and join me, light up so that I'm not hiding what wants to come through, that it's not my ego, but it's if someone's available and this might help, let me offer that into this, this download. So it's all shared from the heart. And when it's from the heart, there's no fear. I just putting this one up again. I did this in Canva to show you this is who was guiding me in 23, 24, as I did this with Julia's class. I'm going to stop sharing. Well, that was a lot. I'm not sure how we want to go next, but yeah, thank you. If we could for a moment, before we get into talking more, if you could join me, we'll just spend 1 minute putting our hands on top of our heart chakra. We're sending a grounding cord down, down, down to Mother Earth. We are in 3D. And we invite in our star families, the ones we've identified and the ones that we are yet to meet. We invite our support crew to join us and anchor in with Mother Earth through that beautiful grounding cord. And when we're ready, we're going to send from our heart a constellation, create this constellation, and we're sending cords etherically, supporting Mother Earth, supporting one another around the globe in this now moment. As Bashar was saying, we only have the now. So in this now moment, the magic of co-creation, we call it in and we invite in our galactic awareness and our star family members. And invite you for a moment to just feel the outpouring of love. Feel your heart remembering that this is family and we are here out of love to support you. Yes, we thank them. And for anyone who's feeling a little overwhelmed, we invite your star families to just go step by step, maybe just one star and starting there, that there's nothing to do but just feel this love. And any time on the timeline going forward in 2025, with this beautiful energy of the new moon in Aquarius with the snake, letting go of that which is not working. If there's any moment going forward, we're going to anchor this energetic support crew to help you, to buoy you, and to remind you to go within, raise your vibration, and attune to this loving outreach. We're linking arms and we're helping each other to remember home. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. And so it is. Okay. Well, if you want to add to this powerful soup, I know, Sunny. Thank you, guys. Feel free. You're welcome to unmute and add a word or type something in the chat. And in a few minutes, we'll just open to conversation, and I can bring up charts if you want, but let's start with adding anything. When you sonically add a word from your heart, it is magic, you guys. It is claiming. Like I'll say the word sovereignty, step into it, or sovereignty from the heart.
Harmony.
Freedom.
Freedom. Yes. Freedom. Andromeda. Yes.
Magic.
Magic. Yes.
Joy.
Joy. Yes.
Illumination.
Love.
Love.
Balance.
Balance. Yes.
Healing.
Healing. Wholeness. Yes.
Compassion.
Compassion. Yes.
Alignment.
Alignment.
Expansion. Expansion.
Expansion. Jupiter. Yes.
And oneness.
Oneness. Metatron. Merkaba. Yes.
Discovery.
Discovery. Inner child. Yes.
Blessings. Love, joy.
Blessings. Love. Joy. Blessings. Part of fortune.
Alive.
Alive. Yes. To this now moment. Yes. We're alive.
Playful.
Playful. Yes. Yes.
Grateful.
Grateful. Gratitude. The strongest vibration in the whole universe. Gratitude.
Ancestry.
Ancestry. Loving support available to you at all times in quantum.
Radiance.
Unity.
Radiance. Starlight. Unity. Yes.
Wow.
Love.
Awe.
Awe. Awe.
Wonder.
Wonder. Wonder. Yes.
Non-judgment. Non-judgment. That's a good one.
Non-judgment. Yes.
Wholeness. Wholeness.
Wholeness. Yes. Yes. Oh, you guys feel that? Do you feel it? If you haven't said something and want to still, you sonically are adding your special energy into this soup. If you're shy, I get it. You can say it with mute, but when you share it, it's like we're creating this cauldron of with our star families.
Remembering.
Remembering. Yes.
Synchronicity.
Synchronicities. Yes. Yes. Yes.
Unity.
Unity. Yes. Someone wrote peace. Yes. And acceptance. Yes.
Cosmic.
Cosmic. Yes. Yes. Yes.
Divinity.
Divinity. I see you. Yes.
Transfiguration.
Transfiguration. Yes. Yes.
Beauty.
Beauty. Yes.
Alchemy.
Alchemy. Yes. Illumination. Yes.
Grace.
Grace. Oh, grace. Yes.
Alignment.
Alignment. Yes. Devotion. Yes. Transformation. Yes. Super consciousness. Yes.
Service.
I missed that.
Service.
Light.
Service. Yes.
Light.
Light. Yes.
Mission.
Mission. Yes. Let's play with the word star seed. Star seed. Yes. Yes. Okay. I think we're wrapping up. Thank you. Thank you. We've created this wisdom. Of course, wisdom. We are creating this time capsule. Okay. And I'm putting in all the words that were in the chat and all the things that weren't spoken, but were shared from the heart. And we're going to send it down this grounding cord to Mother Earth. And it is going to be available. This is potent. This is our cauldron. It's potent. Mother Earth is receiving it. And we are part of her. And yes, you can tap into this when you look, or if you decide to listen or see this video again in the future. This is available for you anytime, any place. It is like, it's your time capsule that you can go into. Because you guys, 2025, we've been signing up to be here to witness this. And so we hold that idea of we are going to be witnessing. And Pam Gregory says, stay on your eagle's perch is her motto. And I'm like, oh, but wait, people are suffering down here. And oh, can you believe this happened? I'm like, stay on the eagle's perch. Energy follows energy. Energy follows our thoughts. And so, especially when this heart energy we just shared, this is a massive heart chakra gift we've given ourselves and Mother Earth. Thank God for Mother Earth. And she is moving interdimensionally with us, right? So it's not just us moving through this photonic light belt. It's this idea of the veil is thinning and we're becoming more telepathic, telekinetic, telesensory. So, but we're not doing it without our Mother Earth. All right. So it's gratitude for her. So as much as we want to go ascend, it's really an inward ascension. It's that toroidal field as I go out, I come back in. So that's why what is above is below, what is within is without. When you really go into this galactic consciousness and work more thinking about how I can reframe this whole paradigm of the now, you start to see the joke of the cosmos of, wow, I really set this whole thing up. I know, right? And it's like, that's why I call it a playground, because we're learning ascension techniques or how to lighten up. But this auspicious year of 2025, it's like pencils down. All right. Use everything you already know. Travel lighter because it's time. And doing this, there's 34 of us here. I love it. We're all here. Everyone showed up. Oh my gosh, +1. So it's like, thank you, thank you, thank you. It's perfect.
Thank
Ah,
you.
You're
Thank you.
welcome. Oh, you guys. Okay, so I know you're filled with questions, unless someone has something else they want to share, because I don't mind. It's 10:51, but I don't do like personal readings too deeply. But if you had something, I have all of your charts. You guys are so beautiful. I just felt like that great attractor is showing up in so many of your conjunctions that it's almost like this black hole of the black hole of the black hole. It's pulling us in to help us expand. It's not about losing control. It's more about choosing what you all said, unity, awareness, wisdom, that the wisdom is moving at a whole other level. Like, it's an evolutionary spiral. And the bringing up of ancestors, we're remembering where we've come from. And at some point, we'll find out that we are our own ancestors. So when you get off the linear timeline, it starts really playing with you. Like, okay, yeah, we're back and we're here to learn. And so when you look at some of the star stories, you're going to find that a lot of the lessons I may not have learned in this system or that follow me into this earth lifetime by my soul's agreement. But I wanted to call out when I mentioned you can rewrite your contract, because if it really gets hard for you, we use our authority, our inner authority. And I know this, you guys know this, you are remembering. You can rewrite that contract with your council of 12 or however many you have. But these stars are here to say it does not have to be putting your head and putting you underwater. You deserve ease and grace. And you can say, okay, I took on too much. I thought I could handle all of this. Let me start here. And so when we look at your chart, we can say, I'm going to start here. I'm going to work on my boundaries. I'm going to work on self-love, self-care, nourishment. Some of you might be saying, nourishment, like others, yeah, but myself. You learn about Lyra, and it's like how to hold up boundaries so we know how to let others do for themselves what they can do for themselves. And if you were like me, mothering, I thought I had to be a helicopter with a lot of special needs kids. And so it's like, okay, I can pull back. It's their journey. These are some of the basic life lessons that the Galactic helped teach me. I wasn't going to learn it by paying a psychologist or going to these other programs. And this for me was like a really fast, I got it. Thank you. I'm going to work on that one, but I'm going to put the rest over here. Okay. So if you have creativity, oh, this is what they want me to say. The idea of co-creation with you as this particle of your higher self, the God within you, the fractal of all that is, right? So whether it's the micro or the macro, there's a remembering, and I'm getting chills, especially when Greg Braden starts finding the God code and we start hearing the sounds and the beautiful love that's within every cell. When you call on co-creation and you call in your natal Jupiter, wherever Jupiter sits, to expand, this is powerful magic because it's like you become creator of your now moment. Take the heart's leadership of, yeah, I hear you, but I don't frame it that way anymore. I'm not a victim and I see, but I'm not going to engage. Co-creation is huge. So I'm a painter, and so I do paintings. But I'm also learning, I like to share and talk on YouTube about this galactic stuff. And because you guys showed up, I'm thinking, you're encouraging me. And my husband's like, oh, they're encouraging her. Yeah. I eat this stuff up. So find out what it is you love, because when you think about where your passion is, that's where the aliveness comes in. And that's where you say, I don't know how to get there, but I've got a star family now, and make it happen. Let's work together to make it happen. Oh, but I don't have any of the money, or, oh, I don't have any time. Okay. How about a small chunk? I mean, but you have to be in motion to co-create. It's not something you write and you put in a drawer. It really takes a little bit of movement and energy, but someone brought up the word synchronicity. Yeah. Wow, that phone call just came in. Do I want to do it or not? So sorry, I'm talking a little much, but you guys, I'm going to give this back to you. Co-creation is so powerful. It is magic. You really don't need all of this. It's just getting your team set up, right? I'm telling you. Anyway.
I had fun setting up my Metatron. You inspired
Great.
me to draw and to just really color it in.
I'm putting it, okay, hold it for a bit. Oh, wow. You guys, this is so cool with the share time. So you've got Algorab. Wow, of course.
I drew a crow.
Oh, crow magic. Yeah.
And then the Hyades up top, all the rain and Alpha Centauri. I drew the crystals and the lion and the sun for Regulus. And one of my spiritual masters is Prince. So he's down there. And yeah, so thank you for encouraging this creation and co-creating. It really inspired me to really connect with my star families. I just wanted to share that.
Thank you. We're missing one little thing.
Yes, me in the middle.
You in the middle.
Yeah, I don't have I'm going to work on that. Either I'll draw it or I'll find a little picture I can cut out. Yeah.
Yeah. Ask your star family, help me find my perfect picture.
Yeah. And the two circles left, Ursi. Yeah. So I have some meditating and some soul searching and going inside. So thank you so much.
Oh, you are well. It just looks beautiful. It looks fun. And, when you look at it, what you did, you took it further. You didn't just put the word, you put a little bit of the energy. You got Buddha, Bruce Lee, and Prince. I love it. It's real. It's energy, right? Like that kickstarts you. Oh, thank you. Welcome to your journey. Yeah. Yeah. Sunny, thank you.
Welcome.
Would anyone else like to be so brave? It's okay. It's if you happen to have your chart.
I have the opposite. I found
Gabrielle. Okay, let's see. It's the camera is in and out. Let's see. If you take off your background blur,
how do I do that?
Oh, you go under video.
Bring it closer to yourself, maybe too.
Oh, I love
In front of your face.
So I have to do the video, she said?
Yeah, and do that little carrot and just take off the blur.
Oh, you have to unblur it. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, now we'll see it.
So instead of a picture, I was going to do is I found a pencil drawing that I drew when I was 17.
Oh, wow.
But it was black and white, and then I thought of this other one, which is color. It's faded and turned more brown or skin color since then, but anyhow, it's the only one that was ever stolen. I left my portfolio somewhere, and when I came back, they took that one picture. And then I was doing cutouts of the astrology chart. I'm not done. And then going to put them, as you see, like next to the circles. But then I Google all the names because I don't really know. And then I'm going to write something in about the names.
Great. It's rather auspicious because this is the window of time.
Yeah.
So some of us need like a homework deadline. If you can wrap it up in this energy frequency, I mean, it's potent.
Right.
I think it was Suzanne Gerber, the astrologer. Someone said, whatever's happening now is going to set us up for the next 18 years. So like pay attention. Like, isn't that interesting? 1 in the 8. So it's another up level cycle. So for anyone listening, I would
Yes.
write, if you can, just get 12 names down and do the art if you feel like it. But Gabby, thank you for sharing. I'm telling you, for me,
Thank
when
you.
I saw that, you're going with, instead of the inner child, you're going with your inner teenager. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. So you rock that way. Like, no one's telling me what to do. Hello.
But that's when I was coming out to the world and wondering, who am I going to be? What am I going to do? Looking like both pictures have my eyes very big and really searching out there. Yeah.
Whoa. Thank you. All right. Are there any other brave souls? Feel free to unmute and share if you'd like.
I can share something on Canva if that's okay.
Yeah, Mausami, how do I do? Okay, so I have to go over here and did you print it out by chance?
No, I didn't.
What about, are you near a computer where you could print it out? Because I don't know how to give
Can you
you.
access it from your phone and show us your phone?
Oh, I think I
Oh,
can do.
that's a good idea.
I could also, I think I'm allowed to share here if you actually
Yeah,
need.
you should be able to share.
Yeah, let's see. And
I
that's
see
one
the
of those.
share on mine. I think you can do that for sure.
On the bottom in the center, there's a
Oh, you're
arrow.
starting to share.
There it is.
Whoa.
Wow.
Now you found,
Yeah, I found a different way of doing it because I did not get the chart. My email, I'm guessing, was that
yeah,
thing. But
yeah,
what
That's
I did instead was tune in into the chart, the galactic astrology chart, and I've been working through this for the last few weeks. And I'm Procyon is on my sun, so that's something that I realized that this plus. It's crazy. I've always had this since I was a kid, and I'm finally connecting with the star. So it's given me so much connection and understanding of who I am, where I'm from. There's a lot here. Um, there's this connection to the ground with the stars. This is I think it's Ain actually, making me. So I have Aldebaran and I also have Ain. So for me, Ain is really connecting to the roots and that fertile soil where the seed is laid and it can grow. So really understanding that and connecting that. And Taurus, which is the warrior energy. And then when I was doing all of this, there was this water dragon that came to me as part of my soul energy or soul origins. And it was this very playful water dragon that was just there and it was just like playing around, bouncing around and stuff. And so I kind of created this, and Lyra, of course. And this is my inner child. Like that is just like that's who I am in my inner child somewhere. It really gives me joy. And this is where I'm moving into. It's this what you said, co-creation. It's a big, big, big part of my journey. This and this, which is again like it's co-creation, but really bringing that down into earth. So yeah, that's
wow.
it. Thank you.
Okay, well, before you go, I have a few questions. So I know some people are wondering, so where did you find some of those images? Did you do like, did you have a favorite?
So
AI.
some of the images that they were AI created, so it's DAL-E, but also on Canva itself.
Yeah.
The others I just found pictures for as I was searching, and they just came to me.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
Beautiful.
I mean, there's no words. I mean, when you see that
Breathtaking.
energy, it's like, so
Breathtaking.
yeah, I mean, you begin where you are. And yeah, so Masami, do me a favor. If you have another email, because I have some things that kept coming back and I would love to send you like the PDF. I'm not sure if you got that, but so we'll figure that out. And I would love, I mean, just seeing that just made me go very happy. And again, if we do something else and we just do collage or we get together again as a group, if you guys want, I'm finding that I enjoy these little mini events and it keeps me on track too with the energy. And I'm just feeling like, oh my God. All right. It's hard to follow that, right? But in the pureness of our inner child, if somebody else has anything they want.
I will share mine. I was having some printer issues. So speaking of starting where you are, I decided to just draw it out by hand and had to search the house for something that was perfectly circular. I don't know if you can
Whoa.
even see that, but so I had to get a little creative with it, but I was able to at least get it down in writing. And I was really excited because I noticed that this piece of construction paper just had little specks of glitter all over it, which made it all sparkly and pretty.
I love that. And Jody, as you're doing that, there's going to be one star that's just like, pay attention and get to know me better. It's almost like it just shows up. I mean, there's information that we're kind of here. And then when you're playing with the glitter and sparkle, it's like, whoa, someone's right up against you and saying, hey, get to know me a little bit more. I'm family. It's safe. And I don't know if anyone.
That's really interesting because that actually happened to me. I've always had a very strong connection to Andromeda. But when I was putting this together, what really jumped out for me was Mesa, which was really funny that you brought that up today about the shining one, because that's conjunct my sun. And it was sort of out of my awareness until I started drawing this and you were talking about it today. So it was really beautiful.
Do you know which house your sun sits with Mesa?
Yes, it is. It is in the 11th house.
So one thought would be, you really shine brightly. We see you in your affinity groups, your networks. It's the house too of like suddenness, like ideas and downloads. So Mesa is not only the shining bright one, but it's also this, if you're open to receiving those kind of downloads of the future. So some of the strange stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah.
Yay, light up that 11th house. That's great. And, like Martin Luther King, I have a dream. So what dream of the future are you holding and sharing in your networks? That is the question.
Creating a healing community and all of that. Yeah, it's really beautiful. And I thought it was really cool too. And I think why it jumped out at me was I'm currently actually living in the city of Mesa. It's spelled differently, but I was like, well, how synchronistic is that?
Oh, I love that. You see, so that's how it works, by putting your toe in the water and being a little vulnerable, like, thank you for sharing that, because it's like you just get started. It takes that little bit of action and then they come up next to you. But if anyone wants to share, if they've ever had like a poke or they saw something or a dream that was so real, it felt like a visitation. If you want to know who that was and which family, sometimes that's how I play the game too with my Galactic. I felt the energy, but who was that? And for me, it's always been important, like to know their name so I can say, oh, there's so many stars in the heavens, and Julia's calculator only captures a small bit. I'm also thinking on my YouTube, I'll show other calculators you can use that are free to help find a little bit more about the stars. So thank you, Jody, for sharing that. So Mesa lighting up that 11th house. Whoa.
And also in the spirit of lighting up, I actually did a card pull before and I wanted to share this with everyone because I think it's really beautiful. It was the Merkaba activation card. So yeah. So I just wanted to share that energy with everyone because I feel like it was very appropriate and wanted to send all that love to everyone here.
You just can't make it up every day.
I can't.
I know, Petra. I know, it's like tears of recognition. All right, which card deck is that? Can you put that in the chat, Jody? Because
yeah, it's the I think it's the activation of light. I'm gonna go grab the box and I'll show it and then I'll type it in the chat as well. Yeah.
So if that's a new word for you, Merkaba, it really breaks down to like solar light body or a vehicle. So it's how do you move in the realms But I love cards, and you really can't make it up. Yeah.
Every day, all day. It's, and then I have nobody to share with, because it's like, did you see this? Did you see this? Like, do you see this? And all day they're just like, what are you talking about? I'm like, never mind. So I just go to my journal and I just write it in there, and then it'll come up later. Remember when I told you this? Look, look. And so my son's starting to pick up on it a lot. He's
I
like,
love
Mom,
that.
yeah, it's all day. It's a job in itself, just keeping track.
I was just thinking that it's like a
It is.
full-time job just keeping track of synchronicities.
Yep, yep, everywhere. And I have that at the critical degree, the 29 degree. And all week my receipt's 29. And it's like, stop with the 29. Like, I know I gotta finish the job. I know, tell me more. So I get a lot of sigils. I get a lot of symbols when I meditate with the sun. I think it's my algol star. And so I see different, and I can't find the symbols anywhere. So I'm just keeping track. But synchronicities all day, every day. I play with them. I'm like, not today. I gotta rest my mind. And so I talk to them. I talk to them openly. I was gonna ask you, Ursula,
Yeah.
how, I know we focus a lot on this, but have you gotten to the point where, I know we're here as humans to learn, but I'm at that point where I'm telling myself, okay, hold on, let me go be human, but I really want to stay over here in the consciousness of away from the 3D ego people. Like, it's hard. How do you deal with, or how does any of y'all deal with that I don't care for music anymore. I don't care to go socialize with people that are draining my energy. I am a sponge, and I have to drench myself with shungite, pure quartz. I just got a biosignature pendulum and a biosignature pendant, because the energies, just alone with the Schumann resonance, it's a struggle. And then dealing with people around. So how do you deal with that, Ursula? Or do you just basically isolate?
I'm tuning into your heart, and what I'm hearing is the word nourishment. Like your soul wants nourishment, and I think on a level of our inner child, we want to be loved and valued and seen. And I gotta just tell you, Petra, some people just can't see you, and they
No,
can't
I know
see
that.
me, and they can't, and that's okay. It's part of the setup.
And
So
I'm
on
okay.
a soul level, we see, okay, so what's the next step? So part of creating this support crew, this galactic, like really stepping into this, I do need nourishment. How am I going to feed myself? So ask them. Sit, like I was like setting a tea party, put yourself in the middle and shut out all of that noise and just say, next step, please. Like, mission is a little bit struggling here. And whether it's time, money, or being valued and loved as I know I deserve, next step, please. So these dark nights of the soul are not to be minimized, but you can again renegotiate, because we're all being asked to like step into the center of ourselves. So you just keep looking in that mirror. This is what I look in the mirror and I go, show me my true self. And I dim my eyes and I see these faces coming and my eyes radiate and I go, there I am. Because this is not me, right? There's so much more wisdom there. But I think let that question of your heart radiate out to your team of 12.
Okay.
It really, and then allow for those synchronicities to show up. And I know biosignature and Ibrahim Kareem, and I do all that. I want to make sure my body's taken care of, BG3 and all that. So you and I, and so, you're encouraging me. I'm going to have another one of these get-togethers.
Please do.
My heart to yours. And then
Thank
I'd encourage you to start thinking about, if you set up your own little tribe, who would you invite? So, and if you don't know anyone, just where's the right watering hole where you can feel like, it'll never be 100%, but at least Julia's group was the first time I could actually let my fullness show. I mean, there's people with Reiki and crystals, and I'm not as, you know what I mean? It's like, I finally could give voice. I know what you're saying, because I came from a very structured Christian Catholic.
Yes.
My stepsons are like, "Are you a witch?" And I'm like,
Mhm.
depends what you mean by that.
Yeah.
So, I get it. But guess
Yes.
what? Use that as rocket fuel to really clarify your mission and why you're here, and nourish yourself. You deserve it. And did you happen to put a little thingy together that you want to share too? Or do you know
I
you're 12 yet? All right.
No,
All
I've
right.
been
So
working on it.
you'll get your 12.
I will.
This really,
Thank
the
you.
look at the conjunctions and
Yeah.
and ask one to really get up there. If you have a special guide, just like, hey man, who can help me? Because it's no one's job. It's your heart's stepping into. I love myself. Right. But how do I drop in here and stay here? Yeah.
I think Vega is very on the top of my list. I don't know if all of y'all were part of the first episode of the summit, but Jody Bonham put in 5 minutes of what happened to me in her story. I don't know if y'all remember, but my dad had 2 strokes. I'm sorry, Ursula, I don't mean to get into this, but I'm getting chills. I don't know why I'm supposed to say this. But on January 3rd, 2023, I was showing my sister how to use a sunstone pendulum. Jody kind of showed hands, but that's not what happened. I was showing her how to use a pendulum, and I asked, am I a starseed? And it started to say yes. And at the corner right here at my right eye, I started to see glittery green color. And I told my sister, am I turning green? She's like, you see it? I said, do you see it? She goes, I was going to tell you, but you said it first. That was
Wow.
January 3rd. January 26th, I was guided to, my dad had developed pressure ulcers on his heels because he couldn't walk anymore. Not on my watch. And so doctors couldn't heal him for 5 months. And I was guided to envision green mist leaving my hands into his foot. And I would see a little baby's soft pink foot. And I was able to heal him within 6 weeks. Well, then in March, and he had strokes, so he couldn't eat, he couldn't swallow anymore. So he died literally starving to death. And so in March, I asked my sister, I said, hey, that day that I was green, because I went down the rabbit hole trying to find out, why did this happen? Why did I turn green? I thought it was just here. And she said, no, you had a whole halo of green, white, and gold. And so this is how I found Jody, because I was on a mission to find out, was it what I was wearing? Was it the crystals? Was it something that I did with the sunstone pendulum? Like, what was it? And so that's when she said my alignment to Vega and my ascendant was so aligned that whatever was happening elsewhere, I felt it here in my human form. And so trying to,
There's a bleeding that's happening between the dimensions. And so this idea of the Mandela effect is happening. So I honor this journey that you're on. And I think try and reach out to Jody too, because it's rare to find that kind of synchronistic kind of thing. But if she doesn't call back, don't worry. Someone's mentioning Martha Alter Hines, such big heart. I mean, Martha is like pure love and laughter. So I would say call in the 12, sit with them. You've had experiences. It's the suffering comes when we try and get other people outside of us to validate your
yes,
experience. And some people are just at different vibrations and different channels, so they can't see. Or if they can see, it's still your experience. And so that was a gift for you, perhaps from your higher self, and blessings to you.
thank you. Thank
So
you.
Yeah, and it
Sorry
looks
for
like
ranting. I tend to rant. I'm sorry.
no, but it's real. It's real life. But I'm gonna leave you with that word nourishment.
I
And
will.
so get the 12 and staying strong and nourishing the body like you are with the biogeometry signatures. I think that's good.
Jody, did you share the Merkaba card? Did we miss that? Who were they from?
Yeah, I put it in the chat. It's
Oh,
called The Gateway of Light Activation by Kai. Oh, I got my background on. Hang on 1 second.
Kyle Gray.
it's okay. I kid you not. I have the same one.
Oh, you
Kyle-
do? Okay.
Yes.
That's
Okay.
one of my favorite decks.
Thank you. Yes, beautiful. Thank you.
I
You're
don't think
welcome.
in 2025 that we have to hide as much as perhaps we did before. It's really saying take your places, everybody. And I think someone was asking me what determines that. I mean, all you have to do, like I track Richard Rudd, I'm learning to be a guide and his gene keys. Like this time between 2025 and 2027 is a huge transformational time. It's an evolutionary, shift of ages. So I don't need to know all the specifics. I just know that, wow, I really wanted to be here and expand through whatever's going to come in. I just want to make sure I have support crew. And if it ever gets really dark or really like beyond, I'm going to renegotiate because I have the power to do that. And call it magic, call it whatever. It's just I know that yeah, I can do that. And I have to invite people to come help me, or invite family, invite star wisdom, and give myself a little bit of a, one day at a time, take a deep breath, remember to meditate and take care and ground with Mother Earth. Taking off my shoes. It's cold. Okay, just take off your shoes and just connect. So all the things we've learned, you guys, and you know who you are. You know so much stuff. And then sometimes we just want to get more stuff. It's like pencils down. This is showtime. Take our positions. And some of us are in the very dark places for a reason. So anchor it in with Mother Earth, connect with this time capsule, send out your, loving, like I would create this when you do the 12 and you see the Merkaba, right? You can put Mother Earth with you in that center too. So we're going to have an experience and we hold it with, here it comes. I don't have to react.
Thank you.
Thank you for sharing, Petra.
Thank you.
Well, you're welcome. But, I think you brought up something important, like where can you really be yourself and permission to be? And this is a good thing to ask your team too. Like, okay, well, I'm ready. And it's like meetings like this, or you resonated with hearing someone speak, sending an email or a message. Yeah, you don't have to be shy. It's it's places, people. Honestly, I just see us like anchors of light in some of the darkest places. Anyone else that would like to share? I know we're going almost an hour and a half. So if you have to go, I totally understand.
I did have one more share, just because it seems like there's a lot of people here that really enjoy the cards. So I had another deck because it's sitting right above your head, Lyra Vega. So I actually have the Lyran Oracle, which is absolutely fabulous. I typed it in the chat, but it doesn't really say on there who it's by. So I'm gonna take off my filter and show the cover so that everybody can see it in case they're interested. So let's see, does this work? I'm a little challenged. Here we go. Okay, so this is what the front of it looks like, and it's just called the Lyran Oracle. So just beautiful artwork and great messages too. So I just thought that would be something that probably a lot of people might be interested in.
Yes, thank you. Ready.
Love that. Okay, we can open it up to anyone with a question about something I sent to them. Was there Like you're wondering, oh, what does this mean? Or because I'm available. May not have an answer, but I'm available. Okay.
There's a
I
question
have.
in the chat.
I would like to ask a
Yes.
question.
Yes.
I have the Pleiades, all of Electra, Tequeta, Maya, and Alcyon in my Chiron in the first house, but I recently started to work with Chiron, so I don't know how to read that. I mean, have also the two nebulas, Orion Nebula in my North Node, and Ring Nebula in Celiac on my moon. But I have a synchronicity last week with the Ring Nebula. The Lyra was really crazy because I have a dream where I was looking an orb, a green orb, and then I have another synchronicity with Kelly Brett post YouTube where she mentioned something about the stars, and later I watched a picture of the nebula, and was the same thing that I dreamed. Was wow, really crazy because I was, I mean, I already know that nebula, but that picture was the same thing I saw in my dream. It was a validation for me. But the Pleiades, I don't know how to read it. And in my first house, I feel like I need to share something, but I don't know what. Is I have a little awakening the the last months with Pleiades involved. And in my first house, in the one day to another, I stopped the smoking. I started doing exercise and changed all my diet. Just one day to another was a crazy thing. I don't even I can understand, and that's why I met the channel. I started to navigate the Galactic astrology, and all the synchronicities was so crazy because when I saw the constellations of Aldebaran and Ain and Hyades and my sun, conjunct my sun and Mars, I saw that was my first signature. I mean, I don't even know the constellation. That is what was so crazy because I was amazed by that. Like, I doing this figure all the time, all my life, all these years, and I didn't even show. So I don't know what was until now. That was so awesome, and I don't know. I I would like to know how to work with Pleiades, or how to know with Pleiades and Chiron, because I know there is some a wound in myself, I guess, because it's in the first but all this was a ride that bumpy ride and lovely ride, actually, full of things. I don't know that.
Well, Carolina, if I could add, first of all, thank you for sharing because
I'm
what
sorry for my accent. I'm not. It's not my mother language, but I'm trying to
yeah, no,
speak. I'm sorry.
Your English is good.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
thank you so
It's
much.
perfect.
Your English is good. Sorry.
Well, it does take courage to speak to a group you're just meeting. So thank you. Just a stream of thoughts coming up as you're speaking. One, the Lyra Ring Nebula is so gorgeous, and you recognize that in your dream. Its
Yeah,
its beauty is because it's the star is right there, and then all these gases and the colors are coming, but
yeah,
it's a dying star, so it's greeting that part of transformation as well. And Lyra is like that's the foundation, it's the cradle of our galactic heritage. And so when you talk then about the Pleiadians or the Pleiades, it's this idea of our star mothers, the grand star mothers. And Cryon talks about Eliliu, these grand star mothers who stayed behind to help seed humanity and working with the Syrians, who are more technology, but it's like this, you
yeah,
learn these stories, like we didn't just show up with the Adam and Eve story. There's Genesis, Gene Isis. So there's this whole thing about peeling it back. But if you want engagement or want to know more about the Palladian stars, there's powerful engagement opportunities if you sit, and it seems like you work more in the dream time. So asking, inviting from your heart, not the mind, but I would like more, like getting to know a grandmother. I didn't know you were there. It, the Pleiadians,
oh,
it's in you. It's in your DNA. You feel it, right? Like what I'm saying is true. And it's this idea of as our DNA strands even evolve, who will help us go forward. And it's not just singular. I mean, 20 years ago, it's like, I'm a Pleiadian. Are you a Pleiadian? We didn't have much more language than knowing Orion maybe in the Pleiades. And oh, did you know the Pleiades? It's a star cluster. It's not a constellation. It's in Taurus. So we feed the mind, and we have these pictures, but in core essence, that invitation to like, I want to get to know you more. You seem to have a lot of psychic sensing, and so they're going to contact. Lisa Royal Holt says oftentimes begins with dreams. It's gentle. You wake up and you go, "What was that?" It felt so
yeah,
real. So I would say, if you want to get to know them, it's this heart's invitation. And when you write it down, write them a message, put it on your altar table with your little 12.
yeah,
They will, because I can tell you things, but it's about meeting your family. And it's like, oh, I felt it in my core. Like it's part of my creation story for this humanoid experience. So
beautiful.
I'm excited by what you shared, but you already felt it with Lyra. So it's almost like, whoa. And you mentioned Kelly Brett, and that made me think of all the other people that spoke, including mentioning Jody. This summit was a heart opener and an eye opener at the same time, like the variety and the beauty of taking these relationships with the stars into the magic of what you already bring to the world. Like, if it's through some creative act, if it's through the love of shamanic journeying, if it's through card decks and readings, there's a place for all of this when you think about how do we engage with the divine of all that is? How do I look at my own cosmic mirror? I think it's someone else, but it's really me. So for me, I saw the Pleiadians staring back at you, going, "Oh, loved one, it's us. It's us. We're in you. Like we're here how can we help? And so if you want more of an experience with them, set some tea time or a birthday party. A birthday party. Yeah. Get that ice cream truck going. Woohoo! It's the ice cream man. Here, it's your birthday. You know, so we can go back to Atlantis or Mu or Lemuria. But in essence, we're looking now in 2025 for relationships of multi-dimensional remembering we're family, nothing to fear. So I don't know if that answers, but I know our mind wants to know the specific, but it'll come in trusting the synchronicities. It's just, I think you're going to find out through your dream time, Carolina.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much.
Feel that.
I hope so, really.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, these classes are fine if you want to feed like I want to know and then I can launch. But let me tell you, there's nothing more valuable than experience. I mean, when I got that poke, it's like that set me on this whole other path. I had this other trajectory, like, hey, I'm supposed to be this, right? Like my brand. Oh, if they find out I'm doing this, forget about it. But to my own self be true, I'm like, who cares? It's me. And it's always been me, but willing to step out and be uncomfortable. And if they're not your friends, then they'll, if they're not your family, their biology, but it may not be soul tribe. So you're going to find more friends and people to support you when you send out and invite in that type of nourishment.
Okay.
Yeah.
You have more time, but I saw, and I'm just letting you know because I keep seeing it come up. Someone wants to know, what is the significance of having Almac in Taurus in the 5th house? Laverne Potemra is asking.
Okay, so maybe can you unmute Laverne and we can have a little talk? Because thank you. I haven't been able to read the chats.
Yeah, it's fine.
Hi.
Hi.
Yeah.
So let me get speaker.
I just had a question about that because I was looking at my astrology chart with the conjunctions, and I'm not familiar with Almach, so I just wanted to know a little bit more about the significance of having Almach as a conjunction in my chart.
That's ALMACH. Almach.
Yes.
Okay. First of all, so it's a good question, and I don't know. Can you guys see this book? Let's see. Could somebody write in the chat for me? Bernadette Brady's Book of Fixed Stars, because I think that's a perfect question. Let's see. This is a great reference, and for me, it's more of a, all right, what are we tuning into? So when you looked at Almach, tell me what you felt in your chart.
Uncertainty, not knowing. So that's why I posted that. What's the significance of Almach? Because I know nothing.
Yep. So when you get to that point, the best thing to do is pull back and look at the constellation. So it's in the constellation of Andromeda. And then you look at, well, how bright is the star? It's gamma. So I didn't take Latin. So alpha, beta, and gamma is like not as bright as alpha and beta. No. So I look at that and I go, okay, how bright is the star? It's in Andromeda. Where is it on Andromeda? Helps inform me. But Andromeda is a high vibrational violet. It is like, like they always say, the highest frequency and color, the violet flame, the lavender. Well, the story about Andromeda is, before oxygen and food, I must be free. So freedom and movement, the ability to choose. Which house is it showing up for you?
In the 5th house.
Self-expression, your creativity. So I'm not sure if you chose a family that said, hey, we're to be seen and not heard. Who are you? So Almach is the one that's saying, and Andromeda is not singular, it's a collective. So that's the other part that we have to think of in terms of, we think of ourselves as singular, and then here's an angel. And then we meet someone like Cryon, it's a collective energy. So Andromeda is like a collective energy of violet. So if you're going to use Almach as one of your 12 stars, I would use the violet color that says higher vibration. And Andromeda, it's also very beautiful. I mean, there's beauty and then there's beauty. So it's this idea of showing up in your fifth house. Is there any planet in there with you?
Jupiter's in there. Jupiter?
So when you have Andromeda dance with your natal Jupiter, Jupiter is the god of Mount Olympus. So there's something that wants to be expanded. And maybe, just maybe, it's this galactic awareness and this consciousness. So I'm thinking surrounding yourself in the violet flame of transmutation, inviting Jupiter, show me. If he is a god, then can I match that sovereign image? Am I standing and sitting on my throne of authority? So you're asking me a question, but I'm giving you a different answer. It's like Andromeda Almach to me is like, when you really know who you are and you're a collective of this divine feminine, high vibration, what do you have to share? Because fifth house is creativity, self-expression, it's romance, it's your children. So we dance with that, like all of your creations. But with Jupiter, it's like, taking it to that other level of, I'll just say the word queendom in a certain way, but in a collective sense. I don't know, Laverne, if that makes sense. So it's hard for us to see, okay, it's all of Andromeda, but freedom, movement, and let's see. Yeah. So Brady's fixed star book is a great, I mean, she does something called heliacal rising and heliacal setting. So she does visual astrology, which is very different than using a calculator for points. But I look at it as dovetailing. And I don't know, you can see I've been reading this a lot. But the story about Andromeda. So that whole thing of Andromeda also is calling up, it's the mother of our Milky Way galaxies, so it's this idea of connecting in. So again, with Jupiter, it's like you've risen to the top if you want to express yourself. And which sign is it in?
The sign of Taurus.
So Earth, so groundedness. So this idea of like really rooting into your expression. But I would invite them to actually work with you in your co-creation this year. So I think that's perhaps why you got intrigued by Almach. And then if you, on your phone, this is for everybody, you can just Google the word Almach star, and then you'll get a picture of where Almach is. And I'm seeing that it's the foot of the princess who was chained, and her foot is sitting in water. So your creativity really relies on you feeling into the emotional intelligence. So wherever your moon is will show us how you rock emotionally. Like when you self-express, it's Almach will help you bring that out, right? So in her foot in the water, here comes the sea monster toward her, but her foot's in the water, like getting a sense of, well, what's coming? It's the subconscious realm. That's probably more than you probably wanted.
No,
But
I want it all.
you see how you weave it together with, it's astrology plus. And that's why the stars are like, okay, I got to get to the next level. We're learning about the asteroids of the goddesses, right? We have that with Melanie Reinhardt years ago. And then now it's like Pam Gregory is guiding us to the Kuiper belt. So everything feels like it's on a evolutionary upgrade and then an upgrade. And then Alan Clay and his good work too. It's like new stars for a new era. We're in a new era, this new era of light. So for you, Laverne, it's like, what wants to come out and be shared? Because the fifth house is the performance. You need the other. How am I doing? It's not just by yourself in the bathroom, maybe practice, but Do you see how that is? It's like,
Yeah.
it's interpersonal. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. That all makes sense because I do love singing. I do love dancing. Yeah, but I've kind of like put that on the side for now. And yeah, so it's interesting. Okay. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. One of the words someone called into our magic time capsule was joy. You know, I feel like that when you were dancing and singing, and maybe both at the same time, that joy and radiance, it is currency. It passion. We still have no idea how important passion is in our life. And when we downgrade ourselves, like that was back then, or who am I to do that now? Um, yeah, yeah. Andromeda Almach, thank you for your question. There's so many stars. It's almost like, okay, I got 64 memorized. But that was more channeling. So even opening up my mind to like, okay, well, what do you want to say? And stepping aside.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
I know we're doing a little bit on time here. It's almost 2 hours, but would anyone else like to ask me a question? Because I can stay on for a little longer. And if you have to go, thank you, thank you. I'll be sending you an email of gratitude. And yeah, and if you want to play again, I'll invite you unless you say don't email me anymore. So,
Ursula, can I read another question to you?
sure. Thank you for taking a look, Petra.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome. Marla Lumina wants to know, can you talk about the difference between Andromeda Galaxy and Andromeda Constellation? Thank you.
Okay, where's Marla? Marla, can you unmute or are you a little shy? It's okay if you're shy.
I'm here. Hi, I just want to thank you so much for this amazingness. Thank you. And happy Lunar New Year to everybody. Yay.
Thank you. Yeah, this
I
may
woke
be
up this
fitting.
morning early and I was like, what's different? I was like, oh, it's the new year. Yay.
Yay, and we're gonna play. Okay,
Yeah.
Andromeda Galaxy, Andromeda Constellation. Great question.
The energies that you look online. I ask this question all the time. Because you look online, a lot of like the starseed characteristics, it's all about the constellation. So, and it reminded me, Laverne's question about Almach. I don't even know all the stars in Andromeda, but any insights would be awesome. Thank you.
You're welcome. Well, first of all, you have to understand the galaxy, even though it's placed in the constellation, is like so many light years away. So it's really not even part of the constellation, but it is our mother galaxy. So Andromeda Galaxy, Milky Way Galaxy. And if you do a little research, you're going to find how many, I don't know, odd million years, and then they're going to collide. So you're going to see images like that on Google. So just know that the mother and the Milky Way are going to be reunited at some point. So the Andromeda Galaxy, if you've got points in the galaxy, and I'm talking light, a whole other galaxy, it's not like, oh, here's a bunch of stars. Like galaxy, even though they cluster it with the constellation, it's so far away. Love the question, because here's the answer. There's another up level. So we're here in duality, 3D, polarity thinking, black, white, right? As Cryon says, oh, human, when are you going to stop playing cowboys and Indians? Like who's right and who's wrong and fighting each other. So 3D, we're learning about duality. And then now we're learning about unity consciousness, trying to open ourselves up to like the stars and think of more of a galactic citizenship. The training with Mount Shasta is like super consciousness. Okay. The next level up as we evolve, because our star families are also evolving, right? The Andromeda Galaxy consciousness, Marla, is all about flow state. Like everything changes. Like, see, on Earth, we kind of think, okay, I'm imagining this is my body. Well, in Andromeda consciousness, I'm morphing. I'm walking down the street. I see 7-Eleven. Tomorrow I walk down the same street. There's no 7-Eleven. So Andromeda Galaxy, we're going to eventually be working in clusters as groupings and also working with this idea of everything's in transit. So this is why that power of co-creation and creativity it's going to guide us in our evolutionary development. We're practicing it in 3D. We're trying to work into 5D. And then there's beyond. So that's just the little bit that I know from the elephant as we're all like blind trying to figure our ways out. But for me, that rings true. Now, if you have Andromeda constellation stars, like we just talked about with Almach, that's in our solar system. Those stars are fixed stars from what we can see from Earth. Those are going to have light that bears on us in 3D. And so each one of those stars will have some meaning. The overall meaning is freedom and movement. You know, I don't want to be chained, but I may choose a life where I was put in a box and told, you stay in the box. But do you see how that difference of if the stars are here in our system versus the stars are in a galaxy, like the constellation? Yeah, that's talking about consciousness upgrading. So do you have another question about that, or is that too much?
No, it's okay. Because I have both. I have in my chart, I was just trying to, it's just so much to learn. It's like baby steps, because yeah, it's like Andromeda galaxies in my chart and Andromeda constellation, and how is it, how is it all connected with, there's just a lot to learn. So it's okay. But it's like freedom for both. It's interesting they have the same name, right? Andromeda.
Yeah, it's just a marker, but the galaxy is like massive. So yeah, so you start seeing ourselves as how actually micro to the macro. And when we start talking about black holes, that gets in a whole other level of like, oh, I have to really think differently. I mean, imagine being in a flow state where everything's changing and you're creating as you're stepping. And sometimes Hollywood works on movies that help groom us for what's coming next. So Andromeda galaxy, if you have that vertex in your chart, you might be asked to really flow with constant change. Like you've got a fire hose on you. And so whatever house that's showing up, yeah, it's my word would be flow, oars in, do not try and go against the flow. Because how's that working for you? If you're on Niagara and you're heading over, like that flow is one way. So that would be my part answer.
Yeah, in my chart it's like the 11th house, the Andromeda galaxy. Yeah, but I don't know. And then Almach is like the 12th house.
Yeah.
There's other stars in Andromeda constellation. I don't know. Like Merak, is that one of them? Don't remember.
So I feel like what's really calling you is to looking at that 11th and 12th house. And those are the most transpersonal houses. So you're being asked to really think outside of the box. And then there's another box and then another box, Marla. So I would just hold it as I think you're going to be asked to do some evolutionary leaps as we move into the next 2 years. And so if something suddenly shows up and it doesn't make sense, just say, there I am. I'm in a flow state. Everything just changed. It's okay. It's just, and some of that change in the 11th house will come through your networks, your associations, your friends. It'll sometimes happen suddenly. So it's like, okay, like the Girl Scouts, better to be prepared in a certain way. Like, okay, remember to be in the flow state. Or I bet there's a card that will say flow with a geometry on it. I think if you add that to your Merkaba of 12 and get a bunch of purple around it, high frequency. Okay, you guys, 6 more minutes. Any last call? Last question?
It's Magdalena here. Is it possible to ask 2 questions quickly? I've put them in the feed. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, go ahead and ask them direct.
One of them is loads of us participating have Capricorn in the ascendant. Perhaps you could tune into that connection linking us gathered here, because you've picked it up when you were going through our charts. And another question is,
hold on. Let me respond to that one first, because I'll forget the first one.
Okay.
So, I mean, I get these jolts that come through. So Capricorn, We think of it as the goat, but it's really a sea goat, right? So it's got a little fish tail. If you look at the Urania's mirror. So this idea of Capricorn is about structure. It's climbing the mountain one step at a time. So if it's at your ascendant, we know that if there's someone to give a job to, it's typically you, that you will figure it out one step at a time. And Capricorn, it's very important to basically have like a plan for getting up the mountain. Success and being admired for your success is key. So this seems to be coming in. So some of you might be holding a certain structure, and we're going to need some support crew in 3D as well. And so when we look at where is the natal Saturn that rules Capricorn rising, which star is there to help support either the rising or the structure of Capricorn? And let's see if there's something else. Emotional, a support structure to hold the various emotions that are coming. Like the emotional volume is going to go up, and it's Capricorn that's going to have the framework, the structure. And it's not necessarily physical. It's just like, I got this. I've created an etheric grid. I can hold it. Have you met so many people? They just don't have the capacity to hold your deep feelings, right? It's not that they don't want to. They have no idea what you're talking about or feeling. So if I see Capricorn at the ascendant, I'm thinking, especially now, you're going to have that sea goat's going to be able to be like, I gotcha. It feels like a bridge. Like you can climb on my bridge and make it. We gotcha. And you guys were going to need this. So in a certain way, in a good way, because you'll be like, okay, but find out where your Saturn is and what star is there to help you if you have one, either oppositional, trine, sextile, or conjunct. Okay, what's your next question?
Okay, since we are entering into the year of the snake, perhaps diving into the stars connected with the snake, and I picked up on my own Hadar, Beta Centauri, I immediately think about Delphi and the oracle Pythia, the priestess who's serving there, and the core of the word is coming from Python. So is the snake, so there's kind of connection, and accordingly to the mythology, there was a dragon or snake serpent that lived there on site. So anyway, maybe just stars connected to the year of the snake, to the snake itself. You could give us some.
So I would say when you look at what I showed on the wheel for this moment today to launch us in, those are the strongest stars that will help us. And if Pam is right or the astrologers are right, it might help us in the next 18, 19 years. There are many snakes in the heavens. I didn't know this. And snake and dragon, yeah, there's a common thing here. Dragon being creator, early beings, before time, they're guarding the treasures, right, of the poles, the pole star. So with snake, think about it. Ophiuchus has got that snake with Ras Al Hagwe. It's a marker of the healer that takes poison and alchemizes it into medicine. Another snake, the biggest one, if you have Alphard, which is the heart of the big water snake, because someone mentioned water dragon or showed us a picture. So water snake is Hydra. Holy mackerel. Yeah. That is like it's the largest constellation in the heavens. So Hydra used to be when you die physically, the Asians back in ancient times thought that that's where the soul returns. You go back into the snake, you go through, and then you're reborn again. So this idea of the tunnel is the snake. And then let's see, Hydra, Ras Al Hagwe, Draco is the dragon star. But I would say let's honor, and in closing, let's call in this green wood snake energy, because I'm going to tell you, it is way more than what we've been saying. It's more than transformation, shedding the skin. Connected wood energy is the tree, the roots in earth, but then the branches holding in energy of the stars, so, and the snake, I always thought it was like Lilith on the tree, the Lilith, a snake, Adam in the creation story, his first wife who said, don't tell me who I am, or don't try and label me, so, it's before Eve was Lilith. And so she is the snake on that tree who's saying, oh no, this is my body. Oh no, that's my daughter's body. Like, hey, we're not cattle. So it's finding I'm feeling into this and I'm getting goosebumps. Women, it's finding our rightful throne and claiming it through our heart chakra. You know how powerful you are. You just got to remember, like we have to remember, we have been vilified. Feminine energy has been vilified. The snake with its belly on the earth, bringing in all that beautiful Mother Earth wisdom, was relegated to being killed by Archangel Michael, or what is it, George and the Dragon, instead of embraced as, whoa, magical creature. It is the caduceus, two snakes on Hermes' staff as the marker of the healer. So calling in, I love this question. It's calling in. I'm getting more like, yeah, it's more than just, oh yeah, what do you want to let go of in 2025? No, this is real. Take your places. Curtains are going to be opening. And we are actually, I believe, moving into this new human light body, where the DNA and the crystals and all that's going to happen. So Snake is saying, hey, you don't really need this 3D body as it was. You're going to get the reset and reprogram and the new human, the new light body. But I sense that the women with our magic, and let me just say, the divine feminine, I want to reframe that. Divine feminine is being called out to balance with the divine masculine, not on top of, but in this kind of Kundalini healer way. So when we say green wood snake for 2025, out with that old, gonna kill me, gonna call me a witch, gonna call me like evil and poisonous. No, man, I have medicine and I am way more powerful. I just have forgotten. Look at the snakes and the dragons in the heavens. And what do we fear most? Snakes and spiders, feminine archetypes, right? And there's probably other things too. But when you look at the stars, there are very few female archetypes. We got Virgo. What else do we got? It's such a male dominated thing. So anyway, I want to end with a positive balance. Are you ready to step onto your throne and claim your inner authority? We can't play small anymore, you guys. And it's like, yeah, if my friend that I thought was a friend needs to leave, peace out. Okay, go where you need to go, because it's positions, please. And new friends come in. And maybe I'm supposed to Alphard, the heart of the snake. I'm supposed to be out here in the black darkness, shining my light by myself. So that's some of the star stories. I'm supposed to be by myself and embracing aloneness as a virtue. Yeah. I know some people might know studio time or our solo time. Well, this has been, sorry if I fire hose you guys, but if you guys want to unmute, if we could just.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. But it's really a gift has been given to me. Thank you, guys. And I tell you what, I'll see you on the Ascension Playground.
You, Ursula.
Blessings to you all.
Thank you so much.
Ursula. Thank you.
Thank you, Ursula. Thank you,
welcome.
everyone.
See you
Bye.
soon.
Thank
Ciao,
you.
Bellas.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.